This little item is hot off the press, so to speak. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with me, Stephen. And it is July the 13th, 2026. Tomorrow is my birthday, my 69th birthday. Talk about that in a bit. But first, let's jump right into, this is episode number 462. Wow. Excuse me. Been a lot of episodes of this. They weren't always called Monday Morning Coffee with Stephen. Those of you who've been here for a while know. They used to be just called my vlog. Yeah. But anyways, let's move right into what I've been working on very quickly. I'll try to keep this shorter today. Yeah, he says. So let's see. Let's go here. I showed these yesterday on So Chatty, or on Friday on So Chatty, and I also showed them again on Stephen and Walter Live. So you're sick and tired of seeing these, I know. So I'm just reminding you that there's these three projects I'm working on: the Jelly Roll Stars by Adam Sews, the Art East kit, second star to the right, and this, I don't know what it's going to be. Well, I do. It's going to be a table runner, but I haven't got all the pieces done, and this is an In the Hoop project, and more about all of those things, and maybe a little bit more to show you on some of them tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. Okay, let's switch back to me. So, that's current projects. Excuse me. Do you have your coffee? This is a Missouri Star quilt cup. It was one of the ones in a Christmas box that I bought one year. I bought 3 of these Christmas boxes, and each year there's been a different mug. So I have a set of 3. Maybe I should have bought the one this year and would have got another one. I don't know, but it's not worth the money. That really isn't. But yeah, we'll talk about Christmas boxes and things in another few weeks or so when they start becoming, more readily available on the market. And that was a digression, and I'm not sure how I did that. Okay, so comments from last week's episode from subscribers. Well, last week I talked a little bit, sort of had self-pity. I talked about my legs and how, it's been years. But they have been getting a little bit worse. There's a lot of tingling in them. There's some soreness. It's not really a sharp pain or anything like that. It's just very uncomfortable feeling, and especially bad at night when you're in bed trying to sleep. Excuse me. Little runny nose here. And you came up with all kinds of suggestions, and I thank you for those. I had people mention tonic water, a glass or something like that, or cup of it, first thing in the morning. People have talked about cholesterol levels. Yes, I have my cholesterol levels checked on a regular basis. I am on medication for cholesterol, a very low dose, 10 milligrams of Crestor. And I've been on that for years. In fact, I have a supplementary pill that goes along with that called Estrafel, something. I don't know. I don't know why they can't give them names like Betty, Barney, whatever. At least names you can pronounce. But anyways, I'm on this cholesterol pills, 2 of them, and I take those at night just before I go to bed, as the doctor told me to. And I know it's not my cholesterol, because my cholesterol number is very, very good. My cholesterol number, last time I had it checked, which was February, was at 2.1 on the Richter scale of cholesterol counts. And that is below, the limit kind of a thing, although they keep changing that number all the time. My doctor, though, says, well, yes, that's good, but she'd like to see me below 2. And her method for getting me below 2 is basically pop more pills in me. Don't like taking pills, don't want to take pills, don't want to get addicted to pills. It's bad enough that I have to take blood pressure pills and I have to take these cholesterol pills. I don't want anything more or higher doses of any of it. But anyways, there is a possibility that cholesterol medication, because it is a statin, one of the side effects is aching joints and muscles, because I read that about it. And that's what I thought it might be. I had asked my doctor about it. She poo-pawed it to a certain extent, and also I asked her if I could get onto something that wasn't a statin, and she basically told me no, this was the best. So that's why she gave me the extra little pill, which isn't a statin, I don't think, to boost what I'm taking now. But, I've heard all kinds of horror stories from many of you about statins and cholesterol medication and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure that's not my problem. So, a lot of you recommend it. I'm getting all choked up about this. A lot of you recommended vitamin B12. I take a multivitamin every day. It has B12 in it. There is such a thing as taking too much vitamin B12, I have found out. And here's an interesting little side fact. I'm getting even more vitamin B12 every week than I thought, because you know that on Stephen and Walter Live, we are both usually drinking a beer, and I'm usually drinking Guinness. And apparently Guinness, and I think there's a few other beers out there, actually have vitamin B12 in them. So if you ever needed an excuse to drink Guinness or the equivalent, there you go. You just tell somebody, well, it's part of my health regimen. It's healthy. Yeah. Some talked about, because I mentioned the fact about walking, and I think that was aggravating it and I was looking for, proper walking shoes. Well, some of you suggested special socks and inserts. Yeah, good ideas. If that's what I thought exactly was my problem. And I have to say I was leaning towards that. And I still lean towards that a little bit. I've looked into walking shoes. And what I'm finding is that walking shoes, well, first of all, you don't know. You look online and you don't know what to buy, because they all tell you this thing or the other thing. You look at the reviews, they're mixed. You don't know, because everybody has their opinion, how it worked for them. And when you go into a store to look at shoes, there's nobody there that knows anything about them. The old days when we used to go in, I remember as a kid, you went in, this guy or woman would sit in front of you, put your foot on a measuring thing, where they slid things to the toe and to the side and everything like that. And they ran off and found you some shoes that fit you. And they told you about, things like support and all this kind of stuff. Today, no, they look at you. I had this, not a debate, I had a discussion with one person in a store. He kept saying, oh, you should get Skechers. You should get Skechers. I don't like Skechers. I like them when I first got them. I got in a pair of those slip-on ones. And they were great. You didn't really have to bend down to put on your shoes. But the other thing was, too, your foot would also come out of them, at times as you're walking along. And there's absolutely no support in the upper parts of those shoes. They claim they have a certain amount of arch support, but I don't know if they do. I even have a second pair that aren't slip-on, because I thought that would be better. And actually, those are the shoes I am now using. I've come to the conclusion that unless I buy a pair of running shoes, just running shoes, this is what I'm finding being recommended on the internet, and AI tells you this, just a good pair of strong, supportive running shoes are supposed to be good. Now, I do not own a pair, and maybe I should look into that and get a pair. But what I've gone back to my shoes that I've been using for a while, which are Skechers, but I did read something where they said, don't tie them up across, the top where the laces is that goes across the top of your foot. Do not tighten those right up. Like, don't pull them really tight. Now, I have a tendency to do that. Very tight. So I have been trying right now to, tie them a little looser. I tie a little double bow so they won't come undone while I'm walking. And I have found that has made a difference. So that's one thing. The other thing they say is make sure the fit, like get a little wider shoe and make sure your toe is not touching the top of it. Well, that's okay. My toe does not touch the top of those particular shoes, but they could be a little wider. So if I go and hunt for a pair of running shoes, then these are things I'll keep in mind. But a lot of you had great suggestions for that too. Some of you said it's probably back problems, nerve problems, and I think you're probably right. I've said for a long time I think I have a pinched nerve. But you want to know something? Back problems. I have yet to meet somebody that has had their back successfully treated for the long term. I know there are people who swear by chiropractors and say they're great, but they have to go every week or whatever for that kind of thing. Well, I don't want somebody cracking my back every week. Massage therapy. Yeah, but I don't like people touching me. Okay, I'm picky. There's probably somebody out there who would call me precious. You want to get my dander up? Say I'm precious. That's just, yeah. Anyways, I digress. Have coffee. And massage therapy costs some money. I mean, my health plan that I'm on will cover some of it, but not all of it. And it's not my thing. And I don't know how much it would do for me. I mean, I think these things like chiropractors and massage therapists, those are temporary. They're not a cure. They're a temporary solution. I'm not in that much pain that I think I need those services. People have talked about physiotherapy. Well, physiotherapy, I guess, is always good. Maybe that would help, but I don't think I'm at that point yet. Yeah, and I don't want I mean, if they found something in my back and they suggested surgery, which usually doctors don't like to suggest because it's not usually very successful. I know my father had it. That was horrible. And I've really not met anybody that's had, back surgery that can really say well, in a lot of cases, it made things worse. So, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So, one person, however, and goes by Gloria Garis 771. Hi, Gloria. Suggested magnesium cream. Now, others had suggested magnesium pills, and I have tried magnesium pills in the past, and I spend most of the night in the bathroom, if you know what I mean. And there's different types of magnesium, I know, and all that stuff. But it's another pill. But she suggested magnesium cream, and I thought, well, what the heck? I'll do a search. All kinds of it out there, and Amazon's got them all. So I decided to order a pot of magnesium cream. You apply it. I apply it to my legs according to the directions. Massage it into my legs just before I go to bed at night. Oh my God, this is a miracle cream. My legs have not felt so good in years. It is great. It helps me to sleep properly, and that's part of the problem. If your legs are aching, keeping you up, and you're not getting enough sleep, well, sleep's important. It compounds whatever is, you're having a problem with. So yeah, and it's got a nice light scent, which basically disappears within, 5 minutes or so, which is good. And it's greaseless. It absorbs right into your skin really quickly, and you're not staining your sheets or your bedclothes or whatever with it. So I am really pleased with how that worked out. I really didn't think it would make any difference because there's tons of creams on the market. But I love it. I love it so much that I have not had to, until last night, take some of my, edibles to help me sleep. Now, last night I was having a little trouble sleeping. It might have been because we had turned off the air conditioner and opened up the windows and everything, and the house had not yet cooled down enough after I went to bed and we got things back to, the air conditioning on and stuff like that. I don't know about you. I don't like leaving the AC running constantly without a window open somewhere. Well, when the AC is off, of course. But if there's a nice breeze outside and it's not too humid out there, I will turn off the air conditioner and open up all my windows and get, a cross breeze running through because, the air gets stale in a house if you've got everything sealed up tighter than a you-know-what. So, yeah. So back to the cream. Wonderful stuff. You can get it on Amazon. It's just magnesium cream. This one has magnesium cream, and it's got some other kind of thing in it. Akanika or Naganagani, I don't know, something else in it, which I'm not really sure what that's supposed to do for you. but I am very happy about this. So thank you, Gloria. I went on a while, didn't I? Yes. So what's been happening at home and elsewhere? Well, on the political scene, this is so stupid it's almost funny. There is a congresswoman named Claudia Tenney in New York State who wants to have, she's directing the U.S. Trade Representative to investigate Canadian provincial bans on American alcohol. Our province, Ontario and Quebec, both have halted the sales of U.S. liquor. We did so in 2025. And basically across Canada, for the most part, if it hasn't been removed from the shelves completely, it has been diminished. Ontario, though, and Quebec are the biggest buyers of foreign wines, beers, and liquors. And yeah, it's hurting the United States. The ambassador to Canada, Holstrick, whatever it is, if Walter was here, he would correct me on it because it's a Dutch name. Let's just call him what? Asshole? Yeah. Who's been insulting our country left and right all the time. He's an arrogant bugger as well. Well, he's getting a little uptight that we don't have American booze on our shelves. And I'll tell you why that is. Apparently, Canada, we buy 40%, like 40% of the sales, the world sales of American alcohol is bought by us as Canadians. And when I say us, I mean our organizations, our government institutions that, buy all of this stuff and then resell it in their licensed stores. It's hurting. Saw a thing, California governor or somebody there was crying the blues, pleading with the Canadians that, we put it back on the shelves because they were being damaged greatly. That was the point. You hurt us, we hurt you. You take off the tariffs. According to our premier, he said that, it says our Ontario position on all this, our province, is provincial officials indicated that sales of U.S. products will not resume until trade tensions, particularly regarding the CUSMA agreement and tariffs, are resolved. You want us to do something for you, you got to do something for us. Remember, we did not start this economic war with the United States. You, the United States, Trump, you started it with us. So keep that in mind. We owe the Americans absolutely nothing. So our premier has said, nope, it's staying off the shelves until, these other issues are resolved. And good for him. I mean, I don't particularly like Doug Ford, our premier. I call him mini Trump or Trump in training. However, on this particular policy, I fully support him 100%. And there's been a benefit to this banning of American liquor on our shelves, too, for our wine industry. It's gone up by 40, 50, 60% this year already, or over last year, because people are buying Canadian. And you know something? We Canadians have a tendency to be derogatory to ourselves, to denigrate ourselves. And one of those things that we used to like to say, ooh, it's Canadian wine, buy something foreign. No. Well, it was true. When the winery business first got started here in Canada, it wasn't particularly good. But over the years, they have learned, they have been cultivating varieties from around the world that will grow. In Ontario, the best place to grow it's in the Niagara Falls escarpment area because they have a microclimate that is suitable for this. And the wines are good, very good. And, that's what we drink most of the time. We drink usually Ontario wines or Australian wines. Sometimes New Zealand as well. But those are our principal go-tos. But most of it is Canadian. Now, we were doing that way before this ban on American stuff, but we never liked American wine. No, I don't like it at all. Sorry if that's your favorite. And I would assume that if it's your favorite, you're an American. If you're Canadian, that's your favorite. Get off the pot. Treason. Anyways, yeah. We're having an effect. This is the thing. Dunkin' Donuts is supposed to be coming to Canada. Now, you don't see me running out and going, oh, yay. No, Dunkin' Donuts was here once before, many, many years ago, and basically they failed. When an American food company comes into Canada for the first time, it's a novelty. You know, like when Shake Shack opened up in downtown Toronto, and it's still open, it opened a few years ago, there were lineups to get into Shake Shack. It's not because their food is good. It's bloody fast food hamburgers and fries. It's that there's a novelty to it because we don't have any of these here. And we've heard about them. So we go to try them. And then from there, I don't know how well their business is doing now, whether there's no lineups. I mean, we were in Toronto recently and walked right by it. And it wasn't like it was busy, but it wasn't like people outside around the corner anymore. So the novelty is worn off. So there will be those who will go because they like it. And that's fine. You know, some people like McDonald's too. But, you know, they go. But the problem is many American food companies have come to this country last a year or two and then died. Like Olive Garden. There's a buffet place. I forget what it was called. It died. There's been so many that have come and have gone. In fact, some have gone so quickly that many of us didn't even realize they were here. Yeah. So, and it's because we're different. We are different from Americans. We might look sort of the same, but we are definitely different. We think differently. Our tastes are different. Our culture is different. And some of these American companies don't do the research. Most of them don't do the research. So Dunkin' Donuts comes in. I've had from Dunkin' Donuts before, and oh my God, unless they've improved over the years, it just made me gag. Now, it's not because I am loyal to Tim Hortons, because Tim Hortons isn't Canadian anymore. It was bought out by a corporation that's based in Brazil, I think, or someplace in South America. But their coffee, I always hated their coffee. But Dunkin' Donuts coffee was 100% worse than Tim Hortons coffee. So, yeah, we'll see. If there's one conveniently near us one day when we're out and about, and we might go in and try again. But, you know, it's an American corporation. We're not supporting Americans. Yeah, sure, those places come in and they hire Canadians, and that's good. But American corporation. Too many of those here. But anyways, that's the big story, and it's the arrogance of the Americans. And when I say the Americans, I don't mean the American people. I mean the people who govern the American people. I suppose it's partly your fault you put them in power. But, I mean the arrogance of this congresswoman to do an investigation. Sorry, we can buy from whoever we want to buy from. It's just business. So what are you going to do? You can't tell another country that they have to put your booze on the shelves. Like, get over yourselves. Really? We're here to stay as Canadians. Yeah. Okay. So, new product review. Do I have anything? Not really. I bought some more filament for the 3D printers. Yay. And I bought some stabilizer for the embroidery machine. Yay. Okay. So, that's the end of new products this week. Okay. Highlights from last week's videos. Well, on last Monday, I talked about all the projects that are stacking up. And, you know, I didn't talk much about being overwhelmed by them because I'm not, and I'm trying not to be, but I'm working on a lot of things for a lot of reasons. On the Idiot Quilter, we talked about Christmas sewing because that's what a lot of my projects are, and it's only July, and we're not quite halfway through the month. Why am I working on Christmas? Well, as I said, because you cannot leave a Christmas quilt or some other sewn things to the night before Christmas because you're not going to have it done. So I think it's a good idea to get started early. But as I said yesterday, I'm a little pissed off at quilt stores because they used to get their Christmas fabrics in now. But the ones in my area don't seem to be doing that as much. And I don't know if it has to do with the whole thing that they probably have to buy it from suppliers in the States and, the whole shipping, tariffs, all that crap. I don't know how that's affecting them. But anyways, I would like to see Christmas fabric, new Christmas fabric. You can throw in the stuff you had from last year too to get rid of it. Give us a good sale on it and I'll buy it. But I'd like to see the new stuff too. And I'd like to see it now because I want to work on these things. Now, maybe what I should do this year is when I buy more Christmas fabric, I buy a little bit more than I usually buy so I will have stuff ready for next year. Maybe that would be the plan. So anyways, talked about Christmas sewing. And so Chatty, we talked about quilt kits because come another couple of months, your local quilt stores are going to be starting to bring out their quilt kits dust them off because a lot of them have been sitting around for a while, so they probably need dusting. They'll dust them off and put them out, maybe on sale, maybe not, because they know that you want to start working on something quick and dirty as gifts for Christmas. Well, we talked all about the benefits of kits and the disadvantages we have found with kits. And I've seen some comments from you about that video, and it seems that you have, experienced the same things that I have experienced with kits. And many of you agreed with me about, whether or not kits are worth the money. So, yeah, if you didn't see that episode of So Chatty, it's there for you to see at your leisure. And on Stephen and Walter Live, we talked about the media. Is it a friend or a foe? We've talked about media before, but this time we focused a little bit more on the news programs that you find on YouTube and which ones do we trust? How do you know whether or not you can trust them? And all the fly-by-nights that have popped up because they want ratings and they want advertisers and they want money from YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And I do have a bonus video that I posted last week. It's how not to cut off your points. I'll talk more about that tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter, but there is a link in the show notes for that if you're interested in today's show as well. Okay, so coming events. Well, we have Sewing with Me on Wednesdays as usual. The link for that is in the show notes. And on Saturday, we had a special event. It was a pop-up sew day, but it was my once-a-year Stephen's birthday bash pop-up sew day. Say that fast 5 times. I think at one point we had about 30 people. And everybody seemed to be having a good time. I had a really good time. Lots of lively discussion, lots of joking around, lots of fun. No drama, because we don't allow a drama. And people got things they want to get done. So it was a very, very pleasant day, and I think I made it a little more pleasant and special because I gave gifts. I had prizes. And I want to thank again. I've already thanked them both profusely, but I want to do it again because I really, really appreciate it. John of Art East and Adam of Adam Sews both were on for a while on the pop-up sew day, and both of them donated gift certificates for money off or free pattern or whatever from their online stores, which was very much appreciated. Everybody who stayed for most of the day did end up with a prize. I have to admit I had that rigged. Some of the prizes were Amazon gift certificates. Those were in limited supply because, I would have liked to have given $200, $500, $1,000 gift certificates from Amazon. But, there's only one thing stopping me. I like to eat. And I would have to stop eating in order to afford that. But no, they were gift certificates. And here's an aside. Because most of the people who won were American, I gave them a gift certificate from Amazon for the American Amazon because I'm not sure if the American gift certificates will work across the border and vice versa. So I did it American. Of course, I had to pay the exchange rate, and Amazon has something I've never seen before when I've done this. They charged me an additional 71 cents exchange fee. So I'm thinking an exchange fee. So because I'm paying for it in a different currency, well, the currency changes, but it's going through my credit card. And the credit card company does charge a fee for doing the exchange already. So I'm getting double banged here because Amazon's doing the same thing. So, yeah, another sneaky Amazon trick. So, something you might want to be aware of if you ever do, like, holiday season comes up, maybe you want to send a Canadian relative, or if you're Canadian and American relative, a gift certificate, just beware. It's not just the exchange rate difference between our two currencies you're going to be paying, but you're going to pay an additional charge from Amazon. Yeah, ain't that nice? That's something I didn't hear Amazon talk about. Okay, so, yep, everybody had a good time. I think I did too. It was great. When's the next pop-up sew day? There won't be another one this month, but probably in the first half of August, there will be another pop-up day. Unfortunately, that one won't have anything to do with my birthday anymore. Although we probably should be celebrating my birthday all year long. Yeah, right. So there won't be prizes at that one, but your prize is getting to spend a day sewing with me. I think I just threw up a little bit in my mouth. Okay, moving on. Weather. Well, let's take a look at what's happening outside. I just need to find my screen and reconnect and blow this up and hit this button. And here we go. Here's the kind of day that we have. And it looks nice. It is sunny. I'm not sure. It's not that warm. It's not that cold. It is currently, let me find this here. Currently it is 17 degrees C, which is very comfortable. And the high is going to be 30 though. So that's getting into sticky stuff depending on how much humidity we'll have. This thing doesn't tell me how much humidity we can expect. But anyways, it's supposed to be pretty much sunny all day. Yep, all day. And for the week, tomorrow, even hotter, 35 degrees. Wednesday, a little bit cloudy, but 30 degrees. Thursday, partially sunny, 28 degrees. Friday, 40% chance of rain, 25 degrees. Saturday, 85% chance of rain, 26 degrees. And Sunday, 70% chance of rain and 24 degrees. So at least Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and today, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and today, look like they're going to be very nice. Then we get into possibly a little rain on Friday. Okay, well, right now it's looking really nice out there. So when I go out for my walk, that's what I have to look forward to. Okay, so let's talk about what's growing. So let me just show you here. And here we go. Here's what the deck plants are looking like right now. Oh, I love this time of the year. Everything is looking really lush. Our strawberries are doing really well. We're not getting, we don't have bushels of them. So we pick them when they're ripe and eat them right off the vine, pretty much. Well, we give them a little wash. We don't use any spray or anything, but, there's bugs. The other things, the tomato plants are doing really well. I see we have a healthy crop of clover growing in this. I think that's a pepper plant. Need to kind of weed that out. For along, you can see our tomato plants down. Our pepper plants are doing really well. This one right here, I think I got close up. Yeah, we have peppers on that sucker. This is the one that we have had for a long time under the lights. And it's just it was thriving under the lights too, but since we've taken it outside, just, it's miraculous. So that's coming. So the way I'll handle this is, as we need a green pepper, I will pick it, because these can stay on the vine for quite some time, because eventually they'll turn red too. So yeah. Further on, okay, these are, I think this is a bean plant, this light green one. This one I think is a pepper plant. maybe. So they're coming along. Our basil's doing really well. Got to start using that. There's more tomatoes over here. They're just perpetual. And then the cucumbers. Oh, my God, the cucumbers have gone nuts. Now we're trying to get them to climb their way up the trellis here, or the privacy lattice. They've got lots of flowers on them, but we have not yet seen any signs that we've got a cucumber coming anywhere. And apparently cucumbers, Walter said, have male plants and female plants, and they need it for cross-pollination. We don't know what we've got. I have a feeling we got some gay cucumbers. They all look lovely and wave at each other, but, they're not going to produce offspring. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. I don't know if I don't know how you tell whether you have a male or a female plant. I know there's something to do with stamens and stuff like that. I have to look that one up. But hopefully things will get pollinated here so that we can get some cucumbers out of all of that. And that's a little bit closer up look, and you can see we have oodles of flowers. So yeah, where there's flower, well look, there's okay right down here. That might be a little cucumber. Yeah, I'll have to go out later today and take a closer look at things. Yeah, so they're coming along, and our beans are coming along too. I just thought you'd like to see my philodendrons because I think they're beautiful. This is my COVID plant. I've shown you these before, but I thought I'd show you right now because they've just been thriving here. In fact, I'm going to have to do a little bit of cutting them back, and I'll start some more. I've got some here. I've been in water that I've had in that water for months, and I just haven't got around to transplanting them yet. I'm thinking of spreading out the philodendrons around the house. Philodendrons don't need a lot of light, but they like things to be warm. So yeah, and these were all started from cuttings from, and you can't see her, she's way over here in this corner, what I call the mother plant. She's old. She's been around here we've had her for over 20 years or more, and I take clippings from her, and during COVID that's what I did, and that's how I got all of these. And I like them because they separate our preparation area from our eating area in the kitchen, because this is all a family room in here. It's kind of an open concept, and it sort of puts up like a nice little bit of a barrier wall between the kitchen sink area and the dining table. And here under our lights downstairs, we don't have a lot growing under there, but we've got some tomatoes coming, we've got some peppers coming, and this is experimental. We want to see how well the beans would do under lights, and as you can see, we have some beans. We also have some chili peppers in here too. This one back here, it's a little bit blurred. So this might be a potential for a winter crop under the lights. Nice green beans. We shall see. Okay, I think that's all I've got to show you in the garden. It is. So that takes me to 3D printing. And I've been printing some interesting things. Let's take a look. And I can't find my other things here. Well, they are here, and I will find them because I did have pictures of these. So yeah, 3D printers have been going like mad, and again, I've been thinking about Christmas, and so I'm keep my eyes open for unique Christmas things that could be sort of sewing gifts at Christmas time. Let me see here. Okay. Oh, okay. This would help. I've got it here. I'm a dummy, an idiot. All right. There we go. This is one thing. We saw this when we were watching some YouTube the other night, and this guy made this reel holder. And you stick your cord in it, and it comes out, both ends of your cord come out of either end of this. And then you just pull on it, it unwinds for as much as you need of your extension cord. It'll hold about 30 feet. And then you wind it back up. That's what the handle is. Walter's already put it together and tried it out, and he thinks it may work. So I'm very pleased with that, because usually he just poo-paws my 3D prints. Like, well, why would you need something like that? Okay, fine. But I asked him, I said, do you want me to make you this? And he kind of went, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Didn't think it would work, but I think it's working. So there was that. And then where's the other pictures I want to show you? I think I jumped ahead in my, didn't put my pictures in the right order this morning. Sorry, bit of a delay. Okay, here's what I wanted to show you. My steampunk garbage can. Now, if you've been here on a while, you know that I have these garbage cans that are supposed to be thimbles, and I blew them up 3,000% or something like that, and they make great little scrap buckets. I have them all over the place in the house, and I've given some away as gifts before, and everybody absolutely loves them. Well, I saw this design, and I love steampunk, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to make that. So I did, and it's because I have the larger printer, it's quite a good size. And it just so happened that the garbage can we have in the bathroom upstairs, one of the bathrooms, is falling apart. It's disintegrating. It's got a crack in the bottom. The lip around the rim is breaking off and stuff like that. So I took that one out, replaced it with this one, and this is working dandy. It fits in that spot perfectly, looks good, does its thing. So this is an example of a practical print. And it was just in time, too, because Walter said I had set that other pail out in the garage for the garbage. He'd picked it up, and it just fell apart. It disintegrated, literally. So, well, we'd had it a long time. But anyways, have a 3D printer. And as Walter said, how much filament did that take? I said, almost a full spool of filament. And how many long hours did it take? I said, it was about 15 and a half hours to print. Or more. No, it was 19 hours print. And he says, so basically this cost around $30 to make, and you could have for $4 picked one up at the dollar store. I said, yes, but it wouldn't be steampunk, would it? And I didn't make it myself. Yeah, so when you're using a 3D printer to make practical prints, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is cheaper, okay? But it means you made it. And you may have customized it for your own purposes too. The other thing is this. This is going to be this year's Christmas gift for the ladies at Ultimate Sewing. I always give them something every year. I did this in the rainbow filament, and this picture isn't very good, but there's a pair of scissors and a thing of yarn and a spool of thread on the cover of it. And it's all slotted out, and it has a handle, and it's very, very sturdy as well. So I'm going to try and find things that I can fill the slots of this with. And I've started already looking, and my idea is I have a bunch of these to make. I've already made, I think I have 8 of these baskets already made. They took a little bit of time. And now I'm going to populate them with whatever I can find that I think would be appropriate in a sewing basket, mostly from 3D prints. Okay, some things I won't be able to 3D print, but yeah. And I found a really neat thing yesterday, and I printed one and I showed it to Walter, and he thought it was a great idea. It is a little clip for when you're hemming something. It's got 1 inch, 2 inch, 2.5 inch marks on them. I checked these; they are accurate. And you see, it's this clip. And so you just clip it over the hem, you fold it the hem, you put it there to hold it down along there, and away you go, and you can make your hem nice and easy this way, rather than just measuring it with a ruler or one of those little steel things with the slidey bar on it. So I'm not sure how many would be good to have in a set. I'm thinking 4 to 6. So I'm using Walter as my consultant. He seemed to be excited about it. He liked this one. He didn't poo-pah it. So this means that this is a good thing to make. So I'm going to make a bunch more of those, and that'll be one of the first things that I'm going to populate the sewing basket with. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, I showed you that. And now I'm going to insert in here, I thought you might be interested in seeing this sewing basket being produced on the 3D printer. Of course, it is a time lapse. It runs just under a minute. I put a little music to it. So it's kind of a mesmerizing little interlude here. You can get addicted. There are YouTube channels that do nothing but post time-lapse videos of things that are being printed on 3D printers. So this will be a good time. Get a cup of coffee again. Sit back, relax as you watch this little clip. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know, because it's easy enough for certain things that I can put one of those up. Maybe not every week, but every now and then or something like that, if you found that kind of interesting. Okay, moving on. So this is a section I call This is Interesting, and sometimes I find things I want to share with you. And you know how I love documentaries. Well, I'm watching a 5-part documentary on Netflix, and it's called The American Experiment. And this is all about it was made for the 250th birthday of the founding of America, of the United States, and or since the Revolution. And it takes you through the Revolution, and then it brings you up to, and this is what's really interesting, the writing of the American Constitution and all of that kind of stuff. Oh my goodness. They have a lot of people who are famous politicians, past presidents, vice presidents, people like that, Hillary Clinton, that kind of people on this particular show talking about the Constitution. The Constitution, no wonder Americans are confused about their governmental system. I don't want to insult the average American, but any of my comments that I'm directing towards the United States right now, one, it's my duty as a Canadian to stand up against the bully and, protect my sovereign country. And the other thing is to point out to people that, your country's going down the tubes. And there's a reason. And it's not just because of the current administration. We've always been taught or hear that the American Constitution is the best document that was ever written in history that protects democracy. That's not right at all. That's bandstanding, or whatever they call the expression. This thing is a mess. It's an absolute mess. No wonder when cases go to the Supreme Court or constitutional cases, there's so much debate. It's written in an ambiguous language. It's dated, for one thing. It considered the world 250 years ago, not what the world is like today, of course. And the biggest problem it has is with the Electoral College. No wonder nobody understands how the Electoral College works. And, well, I can't even explain it myself. You need to see this. Okay? Even if you are a Canadian or if you're an American, especially an American, Americans should watch this. Because it does shed light onto some things that you may never knew about. I certainly didn't know about it, but I'm not an American, am I? So, yeah, I find it really, really fascinating. And also it explains how certain things in the United States in the government system can be gotten away with. Mainly because the founding fathers, as they call them, of the United States, were idiots. Yeah. Rich idiots. So anyways, I just thought this was interesting. and you might enjoy it. It's on Netflix. So, tomorrow is my birthday. It is my 69th birthday. Now, last week I mentioned that, I've been feeling a little funny about that, and I always do on birthdays that end in nines. I felt this way when I was 29, 39, 49, 59, now 69, because that means it's the last of a decade in my mind, and you're moving into another decade. So I'm moving into my 70s after this year. And that scares me because you turn around, you look and go, oh my God, they're right. Time flies. Do I feel 69 years old? Not really, but I'm not sure what a 69-year-old is supposed to feel like. I mean, I have my health, okay, minus my legs, but that's okay. My little cholesterol problem, my little blood pressure problem. But, generally speaking, I can't complain about my health. I have a great life. I am with somebody that I love dearly and have for many years. I have a roof over my head that's paid for. I have a good pension plan. I am not on the bony knees of poverty. I am not a rich man, but I'm comfortable. I don't have to worry about where my next meal is coming from or how I'm going to pay my bills. So I've got a great life at 69. But it'd be nice if I could have had this life at 29. But, I guess that's what happens with age. Now, some people have commented on it and said, age is just a number. Yeah, it is a number, but it's an important number. And when I hear somebody say, oh, well, age is just a number, don't worry about that. No. That number means a lot. It means you've survived this long, and hopefully you've learned something, gained a little bit of wisdom. You know what they say? I don't know what they say. Something about it's wasted on the youth. Wisdom is wasted on the youth or something like that. Anyways, as we get older, we're supposed to get a little wiser. Some of us do, some of us don't. But I have learned a lot over 69 years about life and about people and about myself. And so, yeah, it's every birthday is an important number. It's a milestone. I mean, we celebrate milestones, don't we? You turn 60, you turn 50, you turn 70, you turn 80, whatever. Yes, they are milestones, but so is every year. I heard someone say once, how'd they put it? Every year above ground is a bonus or something like that. So, yeah. So I don't really fear getting older. I guess I fear that people will see me as older. I don't see myself as a 69-year-old man. Now, I know you will beg to differ on that. But I see, well, my hair's a different color. I'm a little wrinkly. Yeah, I'm all that, but when I look in the mirror, I still see a 23-year-old. At least that's the way my mind works to a certain extent. I guess what I'm saying is I don't feel my age, but I worry about my age because it's almost like you're sitting there, and this is where the nines come in. You're sitting there waiting for the axe to fall. Oh my God. All the people, I hear people talking about being in their 70s and they've got this problem and that problem and this and that and the other thing. So you kind of sit there and go, oh my God, is that going to be me? Is the axe going to fall? Am I going to have all these problems there because I'm in my 70s? I know that's illogical, but that's how we work as human beings, isn't it? We tend to be illogical a lot of the times, more so than being logical and thoughtful. So yeah, that's a worry. But on the other hand, you don't want to worry away your life either. And other people say you just take one day at a time. Yes, you do. I've heard other people say you gotta find something good in every day. Well, that's a great idea. I like to say I like to learn something new every day. No matter how small it is, I learn something new every day. And when you get to a certain age, you don't really remember it anyway. So you can learn the same thing every day in the week. Kind of idealistic the way I feel sometimes. But I've always said, if you don't learn something new every day, you must be dead. Because I consider myself a lifelong learner. I'm always learning something new, and I want to learn new things all the time. You got to keep this going. This is why I like to quilt, sew, do the machine embroidery, long arming. All of that stuff keeps me going. I will never be able to capture my youth again. And in some ways, if I had a time machine, would I go back to being in my 20s or 30s? If I'm honest, no. Those weren't necessarily good times in my life. They weren't horrendous, but they weren't the best of times. Actually, I think I'm living now in the best of times for all the reasons I mentioned earlier. Now, if you want to see, I found this the other day. This is a baby picture. I think this might have been, I was probably under 3 years of age. When this was taken, it was taken at Christmas time because there's a Christmas tree in here. And my parents used to do this when we were about 1, 2, or 3 years old. Each of us, and I mean my brother and my sister, we all have a picture sitting on this piano bench, as you're going to see, in front of the Christmas tree. They did that every year. So there it was. I think this picture was tinted. It was a black and white, and then I guess my parents must have had it tinted or something like that as well. So this would be about, 1958, 59, something like that. Yeah, I don't think I was even 3 yet. I think I may have only been about 1 year old. And I'm looking at my little booties here, little baby white booties and the whole bit. Wasn't I cute, little devil? Look at that smile. And you want to know something? I haven't changed much. Head's still the same shape. Or whatever. Yeah, if I could go back and talk to him now, from this point of view, there are things that I would tell him not to get uptight about. Don't worry. Be happy. But I look pretty happy in that picture. But I thought I'd share that with you. Just for shits and giggles, as they say. Okay, so, yep. Tomorrow is my birthday. Thank you for those of you that sent me birthday greetings. Many of you did. And that was much appreciated. And we're going out for dinner tomorrow night to celebrate to our favorite restaurant, which is the Keg. Heard me talk about it before. I'm going to have escargot. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Walter will give me this look like, oh, there's so much cholesterol, all that garlic butter on it. It's my birthday, and I will eat what I want to eat. So I'm looking forward to that. And I know he got me a gift. He's been somewhat elusive about it. But then he tells me, well, don't get too excited. It isn't that wonderful. It's not what you think it will be. I really don't know what I'm hoping for. Because I'm not hoping for anything, really. If I want something, I buy it. Right? You get to an age where, we're hard to buy for. So anyways, that'll be tomorrow. So, yep, 69. Next year is going to be a real killer. 70. And Walter likes to remind me at this point in the year that I am older than he is. We're only 6 months apart. His birthday's in January. He'll turn 69 come January. So, yeah, but for the next 6 months, yes, indeed, I am chronologically older than Walter. But he can use moisturizer, but I'll still be gorgeous. And I guess you just threw up a little bit in your mouth too, didn't you? So that's enough for me today. There are things I need to do. Get on my horse and get going on all of this. So thanks for joining me today. See you tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. And on Friday for So Chatty. And then we're back to Stephen and Walter Live next Sunday as well. And of course, come next Sunday, we'll be talking all about my birthday. Yeah. You didn't think that just one day is my birthday, did you? Well, other people talk about their birthday month. So I might as well get on the bandwagon too. Okay. Have a good one. We'll see you later. Bye for now. Hi. I'm just going to interrupt my program for just 1 second to remind you to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for future notifications. That's all I ask of you. Show me a little love. Thanks.